folks, here we go. New week. Last week of the month, April, has been a monumental month. We've had this market moving, but let me start off the day by welcoming you, hoping you had a great weekend. Looking forward to trade this market with me. My name is Karl at AceTradingClub, and we're coming down to you live to show you the market, give you my insights, and just give you things that I'm looking for in the market this week and today to see if we can make some money in this stock market. But before we get started, let me just show you some of the stuff that I've been looking at here. So let me just show you the Discord. If you've never traded, come join us. It's free to join. Yes, we have a paid membership where you get me on the mic, see my live charts, get my entries, exits, and my thesis on a trade, and we try to profit. Last week we had a monumental week. I think we had over 20 trades. I think we only lost on 2 maybe. I think last Monday we had some harder trades last Monday. One was a loss, one was a win. And then we had a couple flats on a couple trades, but all in all, it was just nothing but winners. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and definitely Friday was a impressive day. But let me show you a little bit around. Let me show you what it looks like here. We got this free trading game here. I got a little day trading room video here. I don't know if it'd play here on YouTube, but one of the things that I had pointed out to members, I got sent this chart here showing another trading room where they had lost $22,000 in a trade, right? And what I try to say is they might have the slick website, the slick win rate, the slick branding, but the question is, do you have real profits? That's what really matters. Can you profit day in and day out? And if you have to lose, because losing is part of it, that's part of the game, right? We just try to build brick by brick here, okay? What a day. Look at this, April 25th. What a day in the live trading room. Tesla was an absolute fire. First entry, we traded it twice. 261, got it at 265. We traded again at 263, got it at 270. I mean, that's over $10 in 2 trades right there in a day trade. So if you're trading 50 shares or 1,000 shares, that tells you the type of profits that you can expect to get here. Now, this is not trading advice for you. This is just financial advice for you, but this is just what I'm trading, and I just tell you what I'm doing, okay? And you're free to follow along. But we got people shouting out their win rates, and again, we do it brick by brick here. You know, people just even with small accounts here saying, thank you for the trades today. Amazing to see. What we're doing for me is amazing. Thank you. I don't have a large account, but it's growing. Look at that, 150, 81, 100 pounds, day in, day out. And that's what I try to teach here. That's what I try to show here. 166 here on Tesla for somebody, 264 for Tesla. This person missed the first trade, but caught the second trade, caught 264. Here's Francis here with 262. You got in at 262, got out at 267. Look at that. Hit their daily goal. And that's all we want to do. We just want to just hit every single day, and we just print. So this is a free area. You can come check it out. Again, you got the link right there on the screen. You can come join, but at the same time, you come check this type of stuff out. Now, we got an earnings week here, and this is the live day trading room here where you'll go live. You'll see my cameras. You'll see me just like this, and we'll talk through the thesis of the trade, how I'm setting up for the trade, and how I plan to profit off the trade. So come check us out. Free to join to see the free area, but come in and you'll see what we do daily in here. Okay, I think we're running a membership drive as well, where I think you're getting a couple days for free. So feel free to come check us out, and we will see you there. But otherwise, let's just get into it, man. Let's just see what we can do, man. This week is getting ready to set up. So let me show you, make sure I'm showing you the right chart. It doesn't look like it's stuck on Tesla. So let me fix that real quick, because that's not what should be showing. It should be showing. There we go. Now we got the right trade. All right, so here we go. This is the S&P 500. Let me put it on presentation mode. So this is the S&P 500. If you've never traded before, again, this is the top 500 companies in the U.S. stock market. Okay, each candle, whether it be green or red, is just representing the price action of the day. So if you guys have been following the market, you know, on April 9th, Trump, the president of the United States, issued a 90-day pause on tariffs. And this green candle represents what I call a thrust candle. I call it the God candle, because you started low, you finished high. That's what makes it green. It doesn't matter if it's up or down on the day to the previous day. Its color is based on the price action. This is just showing you the price action. And we've just chopped around. We had a break of this Friday, and here we are right now. We're up at $550 for the S&P 500, just floating around here with this minor resistance level. And so let me just show you how I plan to trade this stock today. So I'm going to show you, we've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4 up days, 4 strong up days. last week. So this red candle here, this pivot point that you see here, that represents last Monday. And then from Monday, you make that bottom, and then you just 1, 2, 3, 4 days up in a row. Yes, you have a red candle, but again, the red candle just tells you that you opened higher and finished lower. You still finished up on the day relative to the previous day. Okay, so here we are at 550, call it 551 to make it simple. Max move today would be a move somewhere into the 580s. I could see it getting up to 580, but that's going to take a major catalyst to get us moving that high. I would look for a tiny pullback today. Let me show you my yellow lines where I would put them today. So again, I make the graph a little bit confusing to see because there's lines and things of that nature, red lines, green lines, purple lines. But at the end of the day, it's all about price action. So where would my yellow line be for today? So today I would look for a push down. Clearly this 545 is very good support. So let me make this green here. It's red now on the screen. But I would look for a move somewhere today. If it could get to about 545, that's an area of interest to me if it was to happen today, I would look for 540. It's going to take some work to get that low. I don't see it getting that low, but let's be clear. We have resistance coming up. I have this downsloping trend line here, this purple line. I could see us moving up and trying to touch that. So that's why I think even though I said the upper limit is about 575, I'd say today it would be probably about 560. So a pierce of this level by a decent margin, 558, 560. That's kind of where I think we could get to today. That'd be 10 points higher where we're at today on the S&P. But we got earnings galore. But none other than last week, we had Tesla. Man, Tesla had earnings. Let me just zoom this in, unbusy the graph to a degree. Again, like I'm trying to tell you, each candle represents the price action of the day of the candle. So we had this thrust candle here. After that candle, we've had days where we just chopped down. We got last Monday, got this pivot point, and we just blasted off 1, 2, 3, 4 days up. We've had a major liftoff in Tesla. We're into some pretty significant resistance here, okay, right around here. Let me show you something that's really cool, really cool. Members have seen this chart every day. Yes, it gets a little bit busy, but you see this purple dotted line here? This line has been on my chart every single day whenever you looked. Whenever I've shown you Tesla and members have seen Tesla. But what I like is how the price moved all the way up. And if you zoom in, and you really look, we touch that purple line. That's the resistance line. So even though stocks move up, they don't move in a way that is unpredictable. There's some rhyme and reason to it. And so, yes, it touched this purple line of 287 and then pulled back. Now, today we're at 289. We're getting ready to open at around 289 today. But that just shows you the level of charting. When you know where the buyers and sellers are at, when you understand the psychology of how the market works, you can find levels of where you can go long, where you can buy low, sell high, and where you can look to take a quick day trade short, where you could go short at 287 and cover at 280. It got as low as 280, so you could have made $6, $7 on a trade like that. And again, if you got 50 shares or 100 shares or 1,000 shares, that's quite a lot of money, which is taking place in the span of maybe 10 to 30 minutes. You know, I want to keep that in perspective for a lot of people who've never day traded before, who've never invested or traded this market. So here we are at this upward trend line. So let me see where my yellow lines would be today. Today, I would look to see if we got a touch. Clearly, we should get a pierce of this purple line. We can get up to about 291, 292. I think we've been there already pre-market. I think we've already touched this 292, 291 pre-market. I would look for a check back after this massive move up. The level that I like, that I love today, where I put a yellow line today, okay, would clearly be this 263. However, I don't know if we're going to get there, so I would say somewhere around 275 today, which is, I know is about $10 lower. That'd be a decent level of support, with a break of 280 today being something that's more than likely to happen. Right here in this ballpark is an area of interest for me for a long, meaning if it dips down today, sells off at the open, somewhere around 280 to 278 is where I would look to buy low and catch a bounce and see if we can get a sell, okay? And then we could sell for profit. So we're going to watch that. Members going to be watching that. Not guaranteeing that it's going to get there. I don't know. It's all about the price action of the day, how we get into a level. We got the first level of support being about 285. I think we've already hit that pre-market. We've got all the way to the resistance, the 292 pre-market, but I don't know if we're going to hit that, so we're going to watch it and see what it gets. But these are my yellow lines for today. NVIDIA, man, this is one that I continue to hold. Let me make the chart a little less messy, a little bit less messy. Again, you still got that thrust candle on April 9th that you can see on most candles, on most charts. This chop up, pivot down to last Monday, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 days up, and here we are today, just down 1.2%. So we continue to hold this as a swing trade. If you don't know what swing trading is, come join. Link is on the description, and link is in the description of this video. Okay, if you want to join it, come check us out and learn these little things. Okay, so I like to consider trading like the Matrix. It's like when you see it all the time, what looks chaotic to you looks like the lady in the red dress to me. That famous scene that you see in the Matrix back in 2000, that really old movie that Spider-Man would say now. So here we go. So anyways, so we got NVIDIA up, down a little bit after 4 days powering up, pushing down just a little bit. I got a level of interest for a day trade. That would be around 106, 105 today. So about $6 to $4 lower. If we got down there, that's where my yellow line would be today. It would be about 106 to 105. If it got into that, depending on how it got in it, that's where I would look to day trade it if I wasn't already in it, okay? I like it right there. So we've talked about SPY. We got Google. Google had earnings. Now it's a little disappointing because it had killer earnings. Again, it popped up 1, 2, 3, 4 days up in a row. After earnings, it just sold off. So even though it was up on the day, it opened up around 165, but it finished at 162. That's a little bit disappointing on a stock that had major earnings, had good earnings. So it's still up. But, I thought we were going to rally into the 170. So let's just watch. Again, I still like these levels here for a day trade. If it got to 158, that's where I would put my yellow line today. Otherwise, I'd look for a move to 154 if I wanted to get into it as a swing trade. I continue to hold this stock long term. I like it long term, and I'm a fan of it long term. Let's look at Domino's. Domino's Pizza had earnings pre-market. I believe it's getting tanked. Domino's Pizza, DPZ, 400. It's not tanking that much, actually. But it had earnings. I think it had weak earnings in terms of store on store. So year-on-year comparison stores, that type of metrics. So stores that have been open from last year to this year, how they've been doing in stores that they plan to open and close. So international sales versus domestic sales in the U.S., comparisons of those. So it's been pretty weak. It's not a stock that I trade often, but I like a level around 470. If it was to push $9 lower today, let's see, I'd put my level about right there, about 470, with my favorite area would be about 450. If it was to get done, it'd have to start moving. So I'd be watching these two levels closely in the day trading room. So you'd have to come check us out, see how we trade it, if we trade it. Can't promise if we're going to trade it or not. So let's look at, we got earnings galore this week. We got Microsoft coming up for earnings. So I'm going to talk about this one here because I think there's an interesting level depending if we break up or break down. So I like, let me get this yellow line fixed here. Okay, I have a level that remains 330. However, in the interim, if we have earnings, so I'd be looking for, it's not a big mover. This thing doesn't tend to move 10, 20% down or up. So we got to watch it. But the first level of support for me is this 370 level. We get into that after earnings later in the week. That's like a level that I like for a long. Otherwise, I could see it moving up, getting into this zone right here, this 440 to 420. I could see it getting a pop into that after earnings. So it's going to be interesting. This is where I would look to see it kind of get moving to the north side. If it was to go, should come right into this pocket here between 420, 440, depending on earnings, depending on how they play it. That's the upside. The downside would be a risk that we move to the down, and I'd be looking to be a buyer right here around 370, maybe 350, somewhere there. Now, that depends on how it comes, depends if it gets there. My big level being about 330. So let's just see if it does that. We'll be watching that one today and until we get into the week. We have Eli Lilly with earnings coming up. We have Apple coming with earnings as well. Eli Lilly, I haven't looked at this. It's an expensive stock, $870 stock. I'm just having a quick glance. I have not evaluated this chart, so I'm doing it live. So I do see levels that I like. So again, for me, it'd be a dip right here to 760. I would call it 740. So if we got into 740, that's my level for me, would be right there. I'm going to keep that yellow line as we go into earnings. I'd be looking for a dip into that. Otherwise it's going to power up, and I would say it would power up to about, because you get into all-time highs when you get up to this 960. So I'm kind of in the camp that they're going to drop this thing. I'm kind of in the camp that they'll drop this thing. We should be able to get this 740, 720 level. But we'll watch it. We'll see what it get. We got Apple coming up with earnings. Apple, I think, was at 209. Yes, 210, 209. That's where it finished. So it finished at 209, 210. I like this one. It has earnings coming up. That's the only reason I'm staying away from it. However, I still am a fan of this $200 level and this 180 level. Anywhere down here, and especially in the 180 levels, is a steal in my opinion. Okay, and I think we can get a push to the upside. So let's just see what we do. I think earnings are Thursday. When are earnings? Thursday, May 1st. So Thursday, May 1st. So this is what I'm looking forward to seeing on Apple, with a dip into it, and see if we can profit off of it. Otherwise, it depends on how the tariffs are going to go. You know, this thing could move to the upside to about 230. I would say it'd probably move to about 235, depending on how earnings play. So we're going to watch it and go in. There's nothing wrong with keeping that. We have Meta with earnings. Let's look at Meta. I haven't traded Meta in a long time. What I like about Meta is this. It's off the all-time high of 740. It's come down significantly coming into earnings. My big time level remains a break of 400. Okay, I still like a break of 400 on it. If it was to get there, to me, that's an interesting level to buy and even hold for a long time on Meta. Let's be clear. Stocks like Meta can move way lower than you think they can. You might think, how can a stock go from 760 to, say, 300? Man, Meta has been known to drop 60%, 70%. It's done it before in the past, and it can do it again going forward. So we got to watch it. But yeah, if you buy low and sell high, you'll always be in a chance to position yourself for profitability. Let's have a look at NFLX. NFLX, woof, look at that, pushing to all-time highs. It's at 1090. I do like it here as a short, as a short-term short. Let me get rid of that. It's powering up. Let's just see where we can get. I'm watching it for a reversal signal, but if it got a little bit higher, this is my area here. I'm not going to lie. 1100 is kind of in the wheelhouse for where I like it for an eventual pullback to get to, say, $1,000. So a $100 move could be in the cards for a short on Netflix. Other than that, guys, I just want to see what the market brings to us. We got Palantir. Palantir just powering up, man. This thing is just a beast of a stock, man. Just a beast of a stock. Heading towards all-time highs. Earnings are coming up really, really soon, May 5th. So it's getting up there, you know. It's getting close to getting up there. So I want to see what we do. A pullback into these red lines, which now need to be green, are of interest to me. My yellow lines will remain the same. I would like to see a pullback, a check back into the 96 range. But for today, if I was to day trade it on some weakness, I'd look for 108, 106. I doubt we get that, but let's see. I can't chase moves. I tell members, it's like the balloon that you buy your kid at the Disney World or the theme park. Once you give it to them and they let go, you ever had that as a parent? And now you got to watch your 20, 30 bucks go in the air. You just got to let it go without you. Eventually it'll come back down. Eventually it will, and give you another entry. So you just got to just watch it and see what you get. You know, other than that, it's just kind of like one trade at a time. I think MSTR has earnings this week. So we got a lot of earnings coming up. This is my favorite time of the year. To me, earnings season is Christmas time for me, because that's the opportunity to make a lot of money, but you could lose a lot of money if you don't have risk management strategy built into how you plan to trade these stocks, okay? MSTR continues to show some strength off the lows, which was 240, and we've powered up. You cannot chase it up here. You got to wait for a pullback. It's moving up, and along with Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's around 95,000. Yes, 95,000. I've told you guys before on these lives that all we're doing is moving back into this zone here, and that's all we were doing. So ever since then, when we were down here, I said, once we got up here and we rolled down and we got into this thing, I said, this stock will move eventually back up. It should move back right into this wheelhouse right here where we've been trading, where we were trading before the breakdown. That's all we've done. We've moved to the lows of this, and we're going to try to move right down to the midline, which is 100,000. We should hit that sometime this week, is what I said last week. We should hit it sometime this week, and we might touch this 106 up in there. That's where you would look to short if you're a shorter, given the way the move is. But we're just moving back into this wheelhouse where you want to be, where we want to see it. So crypto's moving up. So things like MSTR will be moving up. Things like Coinbase could be moving up. Things like Mara could be moving up. Things like Riot could be moving up because they are Bitcoin, crypto-related stocks, MSTR, et cetera, et cetera. Let's look at Mara. Mara should be around 12. Oh, it's at 14 bucks. So it's kind of moved up. I like this one, given that it hasn't rallied up too much. There's chances here to still buy this and see if we can get a move, because Mara likes to get into the 20s, loves to get into the 20s. If you look here, it loves to be up here in the 20s and then fail and then get down to the lows. So you have chance here to buy this around the 12, 13 bucks and hold it to see if we can move up into the $20 level. Coinbase, let's have a look. 210 down just a little bit. Oof. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what comes. But I see the SPY's kind of up a little bit. I see the QQQ, where we at with the Qs. Q's up just a little bit, but we're just going to trade this market. We're going to see what it brings to us, and we will see you there.